About 18 million acres of forests are lost each year around the world. That is roughly the size of Panama. Deforestation and clearing forests for lumber have many negative effects on the ecosystem and the world, and it needs to be stopped.
There are many different methods of deforestation that are used today. One way of clearing the land is by burning the area. This gets rid of the trees in the targeted area and all of the other living organisms remaining in that area. Another method of deforestation is by clear cutting. This means that all the trees in a large area are cut down at once. Both of these methods result in the total destruction of all the land and the ecosystem in that area.
In some instances, humans start forest fires to prevent any further destruction of the forest. Low-intensity fires can be used to remove brush that could spark an even bigger, uncontrolled fire. By starting these smaller fires, the forests are saved from larger fires. Most trees in forests, such as Douglas firs, have insulated bark that protects them from small fires. If fire were to be used to destroy a forest, they would need to be high intensity and can sometimes get out of control.
Any sort of deforestation greatly hurts the overall ecosystem of the environment. Many of the biotic factors of the area are either killed or removed from their natural habitat. Other abiotic factors are also harmed, especially when burned. This causes the soil to be unusable and the air to be polluted. By removing trees which serve as habitat to many different organisms, many organisms of that ecosystem end up dying. This has led to many species extinctions due to the fact that 70% of the world's plants and animals live in forests. Another problem is that the food web is changed when species are removed or killed. Loss of food source directly and negatively affects all of the organisms in the ecosystem.
Climate change is a large problem that the world is facing. CO2 is harmful greenhouse gas that hurts the ozone layer. It accounts for 82% of all U.S. greenhouse gases. Trees help to reduce the amount of CO2 that is released into the atmosphere by taking it in and storing it. However, reducing deforestation and planting more trees, however, will not completely help the harmful greenhouse that are constantly released by humans.
Trees also help in the water cycle. Most of the water in an ecosystem is held within plants. Without the trees and other plants that would store the water cycle would be greatly disrupted. The roots also help to filter out pollutants that would normally run off into the water source. So without their presence, pollution is free to run off and contaminate the water supply, further harming all of the organisms that rely on that water.
There are many different efforts being made to help reduce the harm of the human disturbance. For instance, some companies have begun to rebuild ecosystems once they have destroyed them, but the damage would have already have been done. Also, species cannot be helped once they are forced into extinction from the human disturbance. Even though cutting down forests can never be reversed, efforts can be made to reverse the effects.
One way we can help this growing problem is to replant trees once they are cut down. This will allow the cycle of cutting down trees and using them for lumber products to continue. This could change the prediction that NASA made that in around 100 years, the world's rainforests will be gone. Another effort would be to use more recycled materials so that less lumber is needed to make new products. Deforestation for land usage cannot always be avoided, but open lands can be utilized instead of cutting down forests when available. Burning the land to clear an area can also be reduced, so as to not kill other animals in the forest that are not removed before the fire. Also, by replanting a tree in another area when one is cut down, will help provide a habitat for all of the animals that are displaced when their ecosystems are removed, along with helping to reduce CO2 emissions. There are many different things people can do to reverse their actions and help the environment.